At another sanctuary in Zimbabwe, an animal orphaned more than 40 years ago is still living with her adopted family. It's early morning at the Imeri Rhino and Wildlife Conservancy. A herd of Cape buffalo is heading out to find breakfast on the 4,500 hectare reserve. But this herd has accepted an extraordinary animal into its ranks. Nzou, a 40-something female elephant. What's more, Nzou's not just a member of the herd, she's in charge. The mighty matriarch leading her buffalo across the plains. Buffalo are notoriously belligerent and intolerant of other animals. African elephants are highly social, and females usually live in tight-knit groups with their female relatives. So how did an elephant become the head of a family of buffalo? The story begins in the 1970s, when Riley Traverse's grandfather founded the Conservancy.
Nzou arrived on Imeri in 1972. She came in as an orphan. Elephants, especially females, they need to be part of a herd. And we didn't have a herd. The only thing we had were buffalo. And so she sort of took it upon herself to become part of the herd of buffalo.
Animal management has evolved since the 70s, so this introduction probably wouldn't happen today. But back then, the one-year-old elephant needed company, and for whatever reason, the buffalo accepted her, albeit gradually.
It wasn't a quick fix, put them together and then they became best friends from day one. It really took a long time for that relationship to build, the trust, the bond, and then her natural instincts took over. From just being part of the team to being the matriarch of the team was a natural progression.
Nzou has now led the herd for 30 years. More than 100 buffalo have lived under her, and today's herd has never known another leader. The youngest calves in this herd are now 5th-generation Nzou followers.
I think the buffalo have slowly understood Nzou and have adapted to the fact that they've got this elephant who is part of the team. It works for them.
Despite her odd family, Nzou is behaving as nature intended.
In a wild herd of elephant, you always get a matriarch. She tells the herd where they're going that day, when they're eating, when they're drinking, when they're resting, where they're moving. And so she is still using those exact characteristics of a wild female elephant looking after its own herd.
Buffalo society is also matriarchal, but they don't have one clear leader. High-ranking females make decisions collectively. Together, these buffalo choose to follow Nzou. Every day, Nzou leads the herd vast distances in her quest for the best food and water. Buffalo eat grass, whereas elephants mostly browse on shrubs and trees. Nzou has learned to adapt. Having spent her life with the buffalo, she more often goes for what's on their menu. But being the boss has its perks.
She's a lot bigger, a lot stronger. So when it comes to feeding, she gets what she wants. And she'll tell the rest of the herd, this is mine, you shove off and you eat that side.
Although Nzou can throw her weight around, to her the buffalo are family and need to be protected.
She's definitely a mothering elephant. And those motherly instincts you see coming out hugely when she interacts with the herd. Certain buffalo can go underneath her feet And it's the younger animals that have that close interaction with her. She has all the characteristics of a wild elephant in terms of how they touch, feel, and communicate with their own herd. And the buffalo respond to those.
So how does an elephant talk to buffalo?
The most obvious communication is rumbling. She lets off this deep rumble, and she's actually calling in her buffalo. She will start rumbling, and the buffalo immediately will start gathering in.
It's a two-way conversation, according to Conservancy guide Anyway Manyawi.
The buffaloes can move, and she knows exactly what they want. And if a rambo is like to call them, then they all come to her. And if the buffalo moves, then Nzou might come also to the buffalo herd to see what's going on.
Today's temperature is fast approaching 30 degrees Celsius. By midday, the buffalo start heading to shade. Elephants usually keep moving and feeding all day, but as ruminants, buffalo need to rest and digest their food. One of them will need to adapt.
When she sees the herd goes in the shed, she also kind of stops browsing. I would say it's not normal, but within Nzou, she feels like, because my family are relaxing, then she needs to be there. She's looking around and make sure that they're all relaxing peacefully and no one is like coming to harm them.
After a rest, Nzou leads the herd to a watering hole. It's another way she's adapted to their needs. Elephants can survive several days without water, but buffalo must drink daily, so Nzou ensures they do. But water can conceal danger. Crocodiles and snakes, such as this python, pose a particular threat to vulnerable calves. But they'd be unwise to tangle with a 2-ton elephant like Nzou.
She always goes in front. If there's any danger like a python in water, she kind of like rumble to tell the group to stand back until the danger passes. Then she lets everyone come and she makes sure that everyone is safe around the water, and she is the last one to leave when she makes sure that all the buffaloes are safe. No one's been taken.
Nzou bears the scars of her protective instincts. A few years ago, she broke her left tusk while defending her buffalo from a dog attack.
She protects this herd. You know, anybody tries to intimidate or threaten this herd of buffalo, her natural instinct is to protect.